Hey everyone, this is Leo Young with Impressive Reviews, episode 26, and tonight I'll be doing The Flash, season 3, episode 9, titled Present Time. So if you've ever seen a Flash season finale, it always ends around Christmas time, and you pretty much learn Christmas with the West family sucks ass. Because, well, Savitar's now in it. So we see 4 years ago that Julian is in India, and he's like an archaeologist. He's like an Indiana Jones type fellow. And he finds the box which holds the alchemy stone. So all we see is that he opens the box and a light shines out at him. And that's the end of it. We switch to present day with the team at Star Labs trying to figure out how to beat Savitar. So Cisco finds an Oxford written paper on the stone that alchemy uses, and it's an ancient Hindu weapon. He also sees that Julian is the one who wrote it. So Barry heads down to the CCPD to question Julian. Julian is pretty much like, alright, I wrote that paper, and that's about it. That's all I got. Expecto Patronum and all that. But then when Barry drops the name Savitar, Julian has a slight freak out. Not like, but more like he doesn't want to answer any more questions. So downstairs, Joe and the DA are talking about having one of those, like a date at the house. So now this is where we switch over to Earth 3, and we see that Mark Hamill as the Trickster is fighting John Wesley Shipp, the original Flash, as Jay Garrick, and it's pretty freaking awesome. And the thing about it was, like, Mark Hamill's Trickster doesn't look like the original one from the 90s and 80s. He looked more like a Joker type character, but you know, that's Earth 3. So Barry comes down and he helps Jay take him out, and then he tells Jay about Savitar, and we pretty much see that Jay has knowledge about Savitar. He says Savitar is human, and he's from other world where he goes around. He's the first speedster, basically. And he goes around and he fights any other speedster who even has a chance at, like, rivaling or taking his power. So somewhere back on Earth 1, HR and Wally are training, and we see that Wally is faster than Barry is. And just like the comics, there's a quick scene, and one thing is HR is like, we can't tell anyone. It's like a self-preservation thing, kid. Don't go off, don't tell anyone. But later on, we see that Wally has a hard head. So, back at Star Labs, Cisco starts seeing visions of Dante. Like, not the way that he has vibes, but actual visions of Dante. This is when Caitlin walks in, and he shares, like, a good memory about him and Dante drinking whiskey at Christmas time. And Caitlin shares the last time that her and her dad had Christmas. With Barry and Iris, she tells Barry about the 3 other archaeologists who went with Julian, but they died during the excavation. So in Star Labs, like, main room, they pretty much see that like a scan of the alchemy stone that's being used. So both Barry and Jay run down to fight alchemy, but find themselves attacked by Savitar. Now Jay tries to distract him, but fails horribly. Remember how Barry was getting his ass tossed around by Savitar before? Well, imagine that, but worse. Like, Jay is being thrown around and violently smashed against things. Like, he runs at Savitar and he's gone. Bam. So the only way that Jay is saved is by Barry takes out alchemy and he closes the box that his stone is in, and that, like, throws Savitar out of their world. And then he rips off the mask to find out that alchemy is Julian. And I'm not going to make that sound like a big reveal because we saw it in the last one. So after Barry takes him to the pipeline, Julian has no freaking clue that he's alchemy. He is like a double personality disorder. And even after, like, telling him, Julian still doesn't believe Barry. So Barry goes to check up on Jay, and then Cisco about the box. And Cisco's like, this box pretty much doesn't exist. No matter what scan I do, the box isn't there. Which apparently, it means it doesn't exist. I think I already said that. So Joe has a little fight with HR, like I said, because of Wally's training. And Wally's like, come on, tell them that I'm, faster than Barry. And Harrison's like, oh, you mean you sing better than Barry? Yes, you're right. You hit those notes right. So Barry goes down to see Julian one last time. And the only way to get him to trust him is by revealing his secret identity to him. So Julian finally comes through, and Barry asks if he's losing time, if he's having blackouts. So Julian tells him his whole backstory. He mentioned his sister dying and that it broke his family apart. And then he started seeing ghosts of her. But who else is seeing ghosts in this episode? Exactly. You're starting to see how it connects. So Julian says the death of the archaeology team was probably on him, but he doesn't remember. So to keep himself safe, he ran to America. And then in Cisco's lab, we see that Dante is finally talking to him. And he says that the only way to come back is if he opens the stone. And Cisco does. He does it regrettably and with hesitation, but he does it. And then it basically brings Savitar into Star Labs. And this is when basically Flash has to go fight him. He gets his ass kicked. Wally runs down without anyone saying to, and it pretty much distracts Avatar long enough for Caitlin to say, for Cisco to close the box before they die. So with it all over, they finally get a plan for Julian, and HR finally gets through to Joe to allow Wally to be himself. Now with the plan, they use Julian as brainwaves to contact Savitar because they don't believe that Dr. Alchemy is an alternate personality. They believe Savitar is Dr. Alchemy. He's using Julian's body as a conduit for him. So they put Julian in some type of some sleep device which allows him to contact Savitar, and he comes through. And Savitar gives them a whole speech. He gives them a warning of the future. He says, "One shall betray them, one shall fall, and one shall suffer worse than death." And then he blames Future Flash for trapping him in time. So the plan is to keep people from opening the box and freeing Savitar again. Jay and Barry are going to throw the box into the Speed Force by combining their speed. However, after Barry throws the box into the Speed Force, he's thrown into the future, 5 months in the future, in fact, where he sees Savitar killing Iris in front of him. Barry returns back to the present and starts having a breakdown, wanting to do whatever he could to stop that from happening. But Jay calms him down by telling him it's just a possible universe. It's not the true universe we're going to see. Then he returns to Earth 3. So the team decides they want to settle down for Christmas, not knowing the information that Barry does. And they go to the West House again for the party. At the party, Wally receives his Kid Flash uniform. Julian shows that he got Barry his job back. Caitlin uses her abilities to create snow. And the final hit is it ends on a good note. Barry bought an apartment for him and Iris. Yep, Barry's no longer living on the couch with Cisco. He's a grown man. Our little boy's growing up with his little lady friend. And that is the review for Flash Episode 9, The Present. Now, the title of the show itself could be, it could be anything. It could be literally Christmas presents. It could be current time like The Present. It could be anything. But I do hope you guys enjoyed this review, this mid-season finale of The Flash. And, well, I have nothing else to say. I have no personal thoughts. I have nothing. So I hope you guys enjoyed. Please comment, like, subscribe, share it with your friends. Let's get it out there, and I will see you tomorrow tonight for Arrow. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye!